It's 11:26 on the 1st of October, and as I've been documenting, there have been very dangerous crimes conducted of theft, financial theft and financial fraud from my portfolios and from my patronage. So this is just, I suppose another update really, I suppose, with regard to how unsafe everybody is with people supporting crime and putting Brexit and COVID-19 from my credentials, as I've repeated and reiterated ad nauseum, at risk due to people that are stealing artwork, stealing educational pieces that I've compiled, personal belongings, footwear, the basics, all those kind of things, but artwork and creative intellectual properties have now been stolen from 18 Rock Street, and a bunch of keys still missing. And Garda Síochána reported that have had a report of those keys being stolen since last Friday week. So I'm just wondering how mums and dads out there that are aware of what's happened with COVID and Brexit and how it's come about. I'm just really curious what mums and dads out there are thinking about, like, creative intellectual property stuff going on again from my portfolio. Is it safe, I wonder? Does everyone out there that has seen this documentary know what's happened in Tralee, County Kerry since blasphemy was conducted against my royal titles, my royal names and my royal patronage? I'm just wondering. It's a very short space of time since the abduction of my child in unlawful care orders commenced in 2017. And I'm just really curious, like, it's only 2023 and there's still more crimes out there occurring, and I'm just so curious about how everybody's perceiving this situation. Is it safe, as an example, to set to your children? Is stealing a good idea from a royal mother? Is that safe, that you owe money to? I'm owed debts from Great Britain, I'm owed debts from Ireland, and there are people suffering from a delusion of the mind, and I'm so curious and concerned for their blasphemy. So the Garda Síochána that have daughters, I wonder for your safety, like, you know, because I'm of crime prevention, and people that aren't paying their debts and living off legislation from me and twisting stories have obviously not got the right side of the story at all, and unfortunately they don't have the law then. So those people that have been killing themselves with bad behaviour and misrepresenting themselves in positions that they're not actually authentically of, please stay very well far away from this issue with any more fraud, and the best interests of your children. Please, your children are at high risk with the crimes that are occurring against my good name that are still not resolved or repaired. So those people that have been stealing from my apartment, I hate to tell you, it's all a punishable crime. And anyone deluded about debts, the monies that I'm owed for defamation and damages, oh dear God, I have such huge concerns for everybody working against the law. Which there are a few that I have been contending with, and I am so concerned for people thinking that in such a short space of time, between 2017, unlawful care orders, unlawful detainments, people taking credit for COVID-19 that haven't even had a hand, act or part, or any presence or part of the experience to play in this situation, people taking credit for intellectual property they simply don't have any rights to, damages education. And as a teacher, as a mother, I can't say that this is going to be supported against the Constitution. So those people that have assumed a position of security and defence of the country, unfortunately, aren't doing a very good job. They're damaging all the crime prevention I've been of. And, you know, there's quite a lot that has come from my humanitarian portfolio. And that's not just Brexit, and it's not just COVID-19. So those items that are in 18 Rock Street, that are art pieces of an art portfolio for my own personal educational agendas in graphic design, those people that have helped themselves to art, I hope those with any integrity or common sense, with any respect for the heritage or the culture, might be careful about who they're interacting or transacting their affairs with. Any stolen goods puts people's dirty fingers and hands in a bad place, and owing money to a royal mom's name isn't very safe either. So in the name of recovery 2019, that came from 20 years of my recovery advocacy with Narcotics Anonymous, and that brought about COVID-19 and Brexit, I would hope and pray that people might see the right side of the ways that they haven't been playing properly on. It's sad that people have been fouled and failed on this pitch for land grabs of farms that I don't permit people to be walking on. People have been very neurotic and preoccupied, and the greener the envy, the worse, the disease. So everyone be careful about the deadly sins as well. So this is what's happening in Tralee, Garda Síochána. I'm of the crime prevention 2017 and 2019 to 2023, and I'm experiencing crime. There's a bunch of keys stolen. There's legislation that people are benefiting from, and my child is still a missing person. So any threats to my royal patronage or royal position or my royal names, any defamation or damages or any further disrespect or exacerbation of the death, and that puts all the recovery that I'm responsible for at very dangerous risk. I don't support people offending Brexit or offences against Brexit. I don't support, and I don't support offences against COVID by people that are stealing from 18 Rock Street and not paying their debts. So this problem is going to only get worse. People supporting crime against Brexit and COVID that came from my credentials, it's a sad sign of the times. So if the European Court of Human Rights wouldn't kindly mind contacting me, I've provided my number. There's a problem with obstruction in this community by people that don't even have a position at the table, and they're assuming a position where they're costing people their lives. So those working with anyone that's a risk or a hazard or a liability to COVID or Brexit from me and my experiences, strengths and hopes is not a suitable candidate to be discussing these matters. So the debts I'm owed from Britain and the debts I'm owed from Ireland are all serious, sinister issues now again, and I hope the IMF is aware of the wealth recovery that I initiated as a consequence of all the unlawful actions that occurred against my child and I in January 2017. So there's a lot of more fraud going on. Anti-corruption issues have been raised in my documentary, and those supporting corruption are regressing, and they're not on the right side of the law, and they're not supported by the law. So the items, the art pieces, all my belongings and the contents of 18 Rock Street, where I have been living since 2019, where I'm owed debts for damages to my tooth and people trespassing on my farms in 18 Rocks or in Arford and Kilflin, are all crimes against the Vatican Church as well. So I hope everybody is up to date about how unsafe it is to be putting people's lives at risk, with more crime being supported against my good name, character and reputation. So those that have common sense and common courtesy, it would be greatly appreciated if the developments I've initiated and that I've been preparing for 20 years be respected in the best interest of progress. I don't support fraud or crime or corruption against my intellectual property, and creative intellectual property theft from 18 Rock Street is a punishable crime. So I don't want anyone putting their lives or their safety or their children or their integrity at risk. So in the best interests of what's good and right, I hope everyone's behaving in the best interests of their dignity and paying their debts that they owe me, because it's quite dangerous now after 20 years and the extortion that I've experienced. So the IMF, the ECB, you're getting an update. There's a circulation of wealth that isn't safe, and there are people that are of bad faith and would you say bad faith practices, I suppose, and sending out a bad message that isn't actually positive and that isn't accurate. So the circulation of stolen wealth from me or any hazards to safety is a damage to the progress that I initiated with COVID-19 and Brexit. And I might as well address this as well to China and the zero tolerance policies with all the crime I'm experiencing. It offends COVID-19 and it offends my qualifications from the University of Limerick, and it offends the field of psychiatry and recovery. Any mental health practitioners that are stalking me and that have been of slander and property theft, any of those mental health practitioners ever again supported after what has happened in January 2017 are a liability to your children's safety. It's a crime against the state, it's a crime against the Constitution, it's a crime against the Declaration. So it's putting people's lives at risk, and I have been of rescue and recovery, and my humanitarianism has saved people's lives. So those people that are disrespecting that are disrespecting themselves and their own safety. So I hope everybody understands any more debt evasion, any more damages that I experience, any more slander is putting everyone's safety at risk. It's a sad sign of the times. So from an educational perspective, my learning material for my graphic design portfolio, any thieves that have been entering into 18 Rock Street, would you kindly have a little bit of respect for your children's future safety and education, and put what you have stolen back from where it was taken, and the keys to the apartment are to be located. And when that doesn't happen, that's a crime, and that's punishable by royal protocol. So those that aren't equipped and that aren't authorised and that aren't permitted, that have not got permission, that do not have royal protocol, and that aren't welcome spending stolen money, I doubt they are aware how serious and sinister this has become since abduction of my child in January 2017. It's quite serious. So I suppose that's my update. That's quite enough and quite a lot. Anyone deluding themselves about their crimes they're committing would want to be careful about what crimes they've already caused against my good name since 2006. I've been tolerating ASBOs in the southwest of Ireland, and I want everyone to do a very serious review of the consequences of these people's actions and the support that they have been garnered with between 2017 and the present date. I want everyone to have a good review of what the implications have been on the community in Southwest Ireland and the Irish society and state as a consequence of theft and fraud from my wealth and the creative intellectual property theft that has occurred. So if that's not enough to gauge a good idea of what is good and right, then, it's enough of an indicator for most intelligent people. But whoever is continuing with these crimes and offending the good name that I have with humanitarianism and Brexit and COVID-19 and my child missing from me, all of these matters are serious for everyone now again. So those that have loose lips and threatening the peace and being cheeky, thinking they're threatening me with any nonsense and stupidity and ignorance of their past actions and behaviours, should be careful about their debts and damages, and not to put the Garda Síochána again at risk, or any authorities at risk, compromising their integrity as they have been compromised in this country by nonsense, nuisances and dirty-mouthed slanderers that have no shame in what they falsely claim about people that have calibre and character and quality to their name. So this is just an update. Contents and belongings of the apartment 18 Rock Street, if not located, is going to be another cross on people's repertoires of crime or offence or incidents of wrongdoing, whatever one wants to address it as. But anyway, that's the update. Anyone using my name and defame and not acknowledging royal protocol or the law, my protection entitlements, etc., all putting innocent people and progress at risk. It's a sad sign of the times.